Songs of Solomon 5:16 reads as follows: His mouth is sweetness itself, he is altogether lovely. This is my beloved, this is my friend, daughters of Jerusalem. The say altogether lovely is Muhammadim in Hebrew, which means praised one. Muhammad's name means praiseworthy, therefore Muhammad's name is in the Bible, a prophecy no less. However, the word Mahmadim means desirable or lovely. The same Hebrew word can be found in 1 Kings 20 verse 6. And whatever is desirable in your eyes. And Isaiah 64:11, and all our precious things have become. It does not make sense to say in both passages, and whatever is Muhammad in your eyes, and all our Muhammad things have become, as well as a few others. Mahmad is a masculine noun according to the Brown River Briggs Hebrew and English lexicon. But regardless, let's look at the context of the Songs of Solomon. What is it about? It's about love between a young man and woman. Vivid imagery is used to show a deep, freaky, intimate, and loving relationship between those two particular characters. For example, chapter 1 reads, Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is more delightful than wine. Pleasing is the fragrance of your perfumes. Your name is like perfume poured out. No wonder the young women love you. Take me away with you. Let us hurry. Let the king bring me into his chambers. This woman is clearly infatuated with her lover. She even says, Let the king bring me into his chambers. Wait a minute. Muhammad is a king? I'd be interested to see Muhammad being called a king in the Quran. In chapter 3, it reads, verses 2 to 5, I will get up now and go about the city through its streets and squares. I will search for the one my heart loves. So I looked for him, but did not find him. The watchmen found me as they made their rounds in the city. Have you seen the one my heart loves? Scarcely had I passed them, when I found the one my heart loves. I held him and would not let him go, till I had brought him to my mother's house, to the room of the one who conceived me. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you by the gazelles and by the does of the field, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. Apparently, Muhammad's lover is looking for Muhammad in the city of Jerusalem. If we are to take the Muslim interpretation of Songs of Solomon 5:16 to its logical conclusion, given the context from the beginning of the song till the last chapter, Muhammad's apparent lover or bride is talking about searching for him in the present tense. There is no indication of a future event, here only with regards to finding her lover. Chapter 4 reads, and this is Muhammad speaking, verses 4 to 5 and 10. Your neck is like the Tower of David, built with courses of stone. On it hangs 1,000 shields, all of them shields of warriors. Your breasts are like 2 fawns, like twin fawns of a gazelle that browse among the lilies. How delightful is your love, my sister, my bride. How much more pleasing is your love than wine, and the fragrance of your perfume more than any spice. Which bride was Muhammad referring to here? Khadijah, Aisha, Zainab? What's more, does Muhammad drink wine? I thought wine was haram. It reads further in verses 12 to 15. You are a garden locked up, my sister, my bride. You are a spring enclosed, a sealed fountain. Your plants are an orchard of pomegranates with choice fruits, with henna and nard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with every kind of incense tree, with myrrh and aloes and all the finest spices. You are a garden fountain, a well of flowing water streaming down from Lebanon. Garden here refers to the bride's vulva. His bride then responds with, Awake, north wind, and come, south wind, blow on my garden, that its fragrance may spread everywhere. Let my beloved come into his garden and taste its choice fruits. Oh, Muhammad, you dog. Do you get a picture of what is going on here? The love and affection between those two is very powerful and vivid. There is nothing here leading up to a prophecy of an Arabian called Muhammad. Chapter 5 again says Muhammad drank wine, and well, for lack of a better word, went down on his bride. It says, I've come into my garden, my sister, my bride. I've gathered my myrrh with my spices. I've eaten my honeycomb and my honey. I've drunk my wine and my milk. Verse 7 onwards says that the bride is looking for a lover in Jerusalem in the present tense. Otherwise, why would she call the daughters of Jerusalem asking for his whereabouts? The watchmen found me as they made their rounds in the city. They beat me, they bruised me, they took away my cloak. Those watchmen of the walls, daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you, if you find my beloved, what will you tell him? Tell him I am faint with love. Verses 10 to 16 then goes on to describe what her lover looks like. He is described as radiant and ruddy, wavy black hair. His body is polished ivory, which is pretty white, etc. Then in verse 15, he is further described in the form of an adjective, altogether lovely, not altogether a person called Muhammad. That does not make sense grammatically or contextually. Another thing to note that some Christians believe is that it is an allegory showing God's relationship with his church, but from the context that doesn't make sense neither, even though the church is the bride of Christ in the New Testament. We would further have to admit that it is some kind of prophecy, but that begs the question and creates a double standard. If the church is prophesied in Songs of Solomon, why not about Muhammad? I agree, the whole idea of the songs is about intimacy between husband and wife, but no prophecy is involved in the entirety of that book. Some Muslims use words that possess similarities between Hebrew and Arabic due to how they look or sound, making the meaning the same. However, the logic doesn't follow even with Semitic languages that are closely related. Take, for instance, Allah in Hebrew, or what sounds like it, doesn't have the same meaning in Arabic. In Hebrew, Allah means oak tree. See Joshua 24:26. What sounds like Akbar in Hebrew doesn't mean greater, it means mouse. See Leviticus 11:29. I watched the debate with Zakir Hussain and Dr. Michael Brown. So whether the word is pronounced Mahmadim or Mohammedim doesn't take away the fact that the whole context of the Songs of Solomon is about a sexual relationship between a husband and a wife from start to finish. No prophecies are mentioned considering the nature of the text. A question I have is, can you show me in the Quran any direct biblical references or prophecies from the Old and or New Testaments that speak of Muhammad? The difference with the Old and New Testaments is the relationship those progressive scriptures share with each other. The New Testament quotes and alludes to the Old all throughout to show that Jesus is the coming Messiah. As far as I'm aware, we don't have something similar in the Quran mentioning a prophecy from prior revelations about the coming of Muhammad. Only from the Quran itself in Surah 61:6, Jesus or Isa is saying a prophet will come after him and his name will be Ahmed. But no direct references are given in prior revelations. However, neither is there a shred of historical evidence from Jesus in any Gospels quoted as saying Ahmed will come after him. Songs of Solomon is not a children's book. It is an expression of an intimate relationship between husband and wife. It is nothing to be ashamed of. It is a gift of God. The language used to show affection for one another is something we can learn from, not to hide romantic and intimate gestures between husband and wife, but to keep that fire going. Thanks for listening and God bless.